You don't want to come to my Instagram. It's just Centaur dicks and
Previously on Real Garbage.
Blue Lips.
Blue Lips.
What was his name? Dema something. Damn it, Dor.
You impossible! You can't do it!
And now, coming up on this episode of Real Garbage.
He tried to kill him, and now the brave little toaster's out for revenge.
you'd be floored by our prices.
It's a welcome to the family. Get in the basement.
Listen to 101.1 The What?
It's been 15 years. Oh, yeah, 15 years.
Yeah.
Write it down.
All that and more in store in this episode of Real Garbage. But first, here's a not-so-quick word from our fake sponsors.
You flip and they flop. You pick up and they drop. There's just no easier way.
Until now. Hi, little chickadees. This is Kathy Mitchell with the grip and flip, okay? If you have not gripped and flipped yet, you will after today, I promise. I was sick of chasing those little sausage links around the skillet, and I'm sure you are too. Sir, can I talk to you for a minute?
It was what?
Sir, do you have a minute to talk?
This is as close as they will get.
Well, that's fantastic, sir, because I'm a loud talker. Today, we're just gonna quickly show you the grip and flip, sir. Do you think you could use this in your daily life?
Oh, the grip and flip? I have a grip and the flip.
Okay.
I use all the time. I own a chain of restaurants, so the grip and flip comes very handy for me. I own the chain of a borscht restaurant, so it's not handy for the soup, because, you can grip or flip that. But
Okay, sweetness, yep.
But as you can see on my 6'7" frame, I have very tiny little toddler arms, and so I use the grip and flip basically as an extension for my hands.
Okay, sweetie. Perfect. Okay, so flip and strip.
Strip and flip.
Flip and grip, no good for you, okay? But you said you own a chain of borscht restaurants?
I have a chain of borscht restaurants. I got them from a deal with the devil, handshake deal. God said it was fine if I use a grip and flip. I use a workaround.
Okay, let me get this straight. So
I keep my soul. I also keep a restaurant.
You have tiny little arms that you use to flip and grip, and you made a deal with the devil
Da.
to get a chain of borscht restaurants?
Da.
Right now because you're in airplane mode.
Da.
Thought I was in airplane mode. What the fuck's that about?
Da.
Well then, honey, you need the scoop and strain.
Da. A scoop of strain?
You need the scoop and strain, honey. If you got a chain of borscht restaurants, say you want more broth, less chunk, or more chunk, less broth.
Impossible scenario. My borscht is perfect every time. I am leaving.
Okay, all right. And what about you, little birdie? Where are you going off in a hurry?
I don't have any time to talk. I have to get a lamp to Jafar. I'm too busy right now to speak with you. I have to get going, you tiny old woman.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure your man love can wait. You don't need to go thrift shopping right this second. I think you have time, okay? Come here.
My vagina has a first name. It's Jafar.
Okay, perfect. All right, so for $19.95, I'll throw in two of the grip...
Is this woman bothering you?
Who is this tall drink of Egyptian iced tea, huh?
I want you to look into my staff.
Okay.
That's right. This commercial is over. I will marry the princess.
You'll marry the princess. You can marry the princess?
Did you guys know that 40% of elderly homicides are due to robots?
No.
It's true. Well, the scientists at the Spellnet Corporation have created a solution. Introducing the Personal Defense Robot. The Personal Defense Robot, or PDR for short, is designed with NASA technology and SpaceX computer technology to ensure that your elderly family members are protected from evil robots. These robots will definitely not become self-aware and team up with the other evil robots this time. The Personal Defense Robot, only from Spellnet. Use the promo code RealRobotRebellion to get 15% off your first PDR. Real Garbage. You guys, that was awesome.
Okay, I'm going to make sure that never happens again.
Oh, yeah, I should probably also do that.
Airplane mode. The robots.
That's so
to
funny.
us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
funny that you put your phone in airplane mode to not be interrupted, and your phone just loudly went, "You're in airplane mode."
Out of nowhere.
I can't give you directions in airplane mode. What's happening, guys?
Time, Siri.
Not much. Thank you for having us. First off,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Ladies
Very
and gentlemen,
excited.
realtors listening and watching, I'm joined here with Steve and Pelé. Did I pronounce it right?
Hello, everybody.
It's
Yes,
from
you did,
from
yes.
the Hive.
That's
The
right.
Hive. Yeah.
YouTube.com/the Hive Life. We have a little vlog thing.
Yes, we do.
It's like a vlog mostly because that's an open enough format to pretty much just do whatever you want.
Oh, Steven, throw on those headphones, man.
I would like. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
okay.
you can hear yourself. I was like, I didn't notice at first. I was like, oh man, because then you can tell how close or far you get.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hi, Steve.
yeah.
There you are.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. I would almost like to promote it as a web series. I think we've done a lot of character building at this point, but it is certainly a vlog. You know, it's all over the place. There's no real timeline to anything, but yeah, we're really starting to dial it in, and the editing's incredible, and yeah.
Started like meditating more, and you just gotta make sure you breathe in your nose.
Using the skills we've developed as the Hive. Oh no! Starting a media company. We're making our passion for creativity our livelihood and turning the Hive into a video production and music production outlet. Pictures worth 1,000 words.
Got one of me fucking your wife in there or what?
You think this is a game? You think this is some kind of joke?
Yeah.
You think this is a skit for a vlog channel?
Yeah, I do.
It's good to have a team together, man. Honestly, it's hard to do stuff on your own.
We gotta train the new guys, we gotta get licensed and launch our website. Plus, we just got puppies. So if you're bored and you have absolutely no life, come and watch us.
There's a link up here, probably
somewhere.
and then the link below. Click on
And
it.
if you're sick of chasing those little links around the skillet, get yourself a grip and flip.
I love that commercial. You guys said you guys came up with that just on the drive down.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I will. Kathy Mitchell is a real woman.
Yes.
And so is the grip and flip.
What?
Yeah.
Flip is a real device, and honestly, so he just said it as a joke, but then I was watching the infomercial, and it does seem smart. Like, are you tired of chasing those little sausage links around the pan? Because you don't have to anymore. You can grip it and flip it.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you.
What exactly is what is the gripping part? Is it just a pair of tongs?
Basically, it's a pair of tongs, but on one side, instead of it being a tong, is a spatula.
Okay.
So imagine your
Spatutongs.
sunny side up egg, right? You're under your egg with the spatula, and then you press down around the yolk for that Oh, yeah.
That's risky though.
Yeah, it
because
is, for
because
sure.
you got to flip it and release it at
Yeah.
the right time, or you rip the yolk.
Kathy Mitchell's a risk taker.
She is.
Who is this Kathy Mitchell? Hold on. Who still watches infomercials? Where are you seeing infomercials now?
I'm not gonna lie, that has been in my head since I was like a 7-year-old boy. That was like the first one I remember being like, Mom, we gotta get that. We have to go. I need your phone and your credit card. And my mom was like, no, this was, back when they'd take your whole life if you did that. Like my mom was like, you're never putting my credit card anywhere.
10 CDs for only a penny. Just give us your credit card information.
Exactly.
But I mean,
great
for real,
deal.
you can get the flip and grip, as well as the strain and scoop, as well as the 6-in-1 clamping tool, which looks just like a pair of tongs, but somehow it's
And a
6-in-1.
whisk. It's tongs and whisk.
Okay, that's at least 2. And you get 2 of each of them for only $19.95 plus $6.95 shipping. I think this was a decade ago, so I don't know if you can still do it.
More than that, I'm old.
Okay.
No,
fair,
isn't it just strange? I've had this conversation with a couple people, how our brains just retain the most useless information.
Yeah.
Jingles, infomercials, commercial dialogue and stuff. Like, I'll hear something and all of a sudden I'm triggered to a memory that's like 20 years old. I'm like, why do I remember the theme song to that stupid show?
800-588.
2-300 Empire.
Today.
Jeez.
That's so great.
It's insane though. Like, why? Like,
Yeah, it's funny because like that whole subconscious, like your mind being able to just draw from things you've heard. I love it. I wish we could control it more, so it wasn't just flip and grip and Empire Today. And, you know what I mean? But that's just
it's Sleep Country, Canada.
yeah. Why buy a mattress anywhere else, right?
Why buy a mattress?
Ameritress.
Why buy a mattress?
You guys want to buy a mattress? Lightly used.
Leave me alone. I don't want a mattress. What is Empire? I know the jingle. I don't know what it does. Like, is it floors? I feel like it's floors. I think it's flooring, right?
I
Empire
think so
floors?
too.
I think it's flooring.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did know.
Today.
It works.
You'd be floored by our prices.
It's a restaurant. We're totally wrong. Wait a minute. Like Bernstein and Bernstein.
Yeah.
Well, what was it
that
for
one
you
fucked.
guys?
That one. It was Bernstein.
EIN.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell?
And then I don't know.
I want to be in on that Mandela effect thing, but I just never paid enough attention. I'm not going to pretend like I did to have a stance on it. Like, it was definitely Berenstain.
That's fair.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was the Bernstein Bears. Like I can remember watching their little Christmas video on VHS, and
I just remember those books. Just looking at the front of the book and seeing the EIN, it's like, all right, yeah. But I remember being a kid and looking at cursive writing when I didn't understand it, and like just forming my own words.
oh, for sure.
There was a decorative plate on the back of my parents' toilet when decorative plates were still a thing. And it said, like, nothing lasts longer than a happy memory. And I was like, oh, it's like nothing Santa gave them was... I couldn't remember the second part. It's like, yeah, that's what it means. It was like this girl walking with, like, a basket of flowers.
Yeah,
I was way off.
I loved cursive because it's the troubled youth. No, I
Giving you
got
his
kept
cursive
in.
story again.
Yeah. Here we go, sweetie. Let me tell you.
Welcome to Cursive Talk.
I'd get in trouble a lot, so I'd have to stay in at recess. That was like the punishment. You had to stay in and write, like, I will not do this 100 times. So, cocky little Steve was like, well, I'll just write in cursive in like grade 2. So I would just scribble a bunch, leave my stuff on the teacher's desk and screw off out the door and go play, right? And then come back into, what is this? It's handwriting. Okay, Mrs. Henicheska? It's fucking handwriting.
Mrs. Henicheska.
Can we swear? Not
Yeah.
too much, obviously. But
Yeah. I'm like, I try to watch my language.
Yeah, for
Try
sure.
to make this a clean show. It's for kids,
It is, yeah.
I hate it's weird you got to click that thing. You're like, well, kids could watch it. It's not not made specifically for kids, but no, okay, it's not then.
Yeah, right.
Fuck.
You know what is also weird is
should
that
make an
kids
episode
today
for
are not
kids.
going to know what Empire is.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
Winston, I love you so much.
Why not? We watched. Well, this was a kids movie.
Bicentennial Man was a kids movie?
Felt like it.
I don't feel like it was a kids movie. They definitely there was at least some dick talk, some dick talk. for sure.
PG-13 Dick Talk, though.
It was only rated PG though.
Was it PG? Yeah.
Because like at one point I was thinking, what is this rated? Because like, man, he was creepy enough at the start. I actually want to take this and cut a horror movie trailer.
You could, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, for
Easily.
sure.
It's probably already been done, but
Change the music.
dum dum.
Yeah.
Ordered a robot.
Yeah.
Just him standing in the shadows because like that build of the robot was creepy.
Oh, yeah.
In '99 it was futuristic, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy to think how futuristic that would have looked like. And then we're here in 2021, and like we do have pretty decent robots like that. They're obviously not manufactured and they're not household butlers yet, but like
I don't think I would. Would you want one? Like if we had robot, really? Okay, hold on. Would you like definitely not one of the first models though, because you don't want to be the one of people testing it out.
nope.
Because these,
No way.
I feel
into
like, I guess as long as they follow the rules of the 3 rules of robotics,
yeah.
they're not going to harm you. But movies have taught us anything, and they taught us a lot.
Yeah.
That's never going to work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All of the Terminators.
He's
still going.
very much on the
30
same
years.
page as you on that one. I totally disagree. I disagree for metaphysical reasons because I think that if a robot ever I'm not saying there's no exceptions to this. There could potentially be exceptions. You could draw out a scenario where this is not the case. I could delineate one for you now. But generally speaking, I think if a robot gets intelligent enough and it's running off of algorithms and it's connected to the internet, which, by the way, huge distance from the original movie. Like that movie could not have happened 3 years later. It had to happen in 1999 because the internet would have changed the entire course of the plot. But if you have a self-learning machine that is able to learn at the speed that it can, which is exponentially faster than a human being, and it's picking up the nature of reality. It's able to understand theoretical physics way better than any of us ever could, and it can piece together the algorithms and logocentricity that constitute the basis of reality and put them together with patterns that we're unable to see because we can't process that much information that quickly. Well, I think that fundamentally and necessarily, it's bound to end up becoming a good and benevolent thing because we see good in order and we see order in reality.
We do.
And so as soon as it transcends those human boundaries and picks up on the algorithms and patterns and order that constitute existence, it's going to be like, oh, hey.
It's going to see that it is smarter than us. We suck for the planet, and it's going to look what we did to all the other mammals beneath us, and it's going to enslave, torture, probably not eat us, of course, but
That is where my brain was going as well. I was like,
sure.
yeah, they are going to get to a point where they see, well, this is an inefficient mammal living on this planet that's doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
We have to eradicate this problem.
put them with
no
the other
nuance to
inefficient
that.
mammals.
And then all that needs to do is just somehow write an algorithm that classifies humans as non-human. And it's like, no, you're just an animal now. And it's like, oh, we can eradicate this.
Exactly.
Even
yeah.
here's the thing. Okay, so first and foremost, I fundamentally disagree. But let's take it. Let's say that that's true. Okay, sure. So it wipes us out. Let's say that this robot thing gets so great in advance that it wipes us out. What the fuck are we holding on to? What do we gotta like? What are we? What are we really? Like we're evolved apes. We are apes that grew consciousness. Are we more consciousness or are we more ape? I would argue that the thing that you're holding on to that you care about is more consciousness. And if this thing is able to process information and use that information more than us, that's what constitutes consciousness. It's more conscious than us. It's just the next level of evolution. Don't hold on to your skin so much. Just let's just.
I love my skin.
Move on.
Oh, I want the Neuralink when it's been tested.
Yeah.
I want to plug in and play the VR,
Yeah,
man.
robot in my skin or in my brain or a helpful little device, absolutely. But I'm not having, even if it is Robin Williams, you know what I mean? That's a robot you can trust usually, you know what I mean? You think?
It'll be the best seller as soon as they start releasing the new house robot with Robin Williams from Bicentennial Man.
Yeah.
Ooh, he was creepy in that one. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, can we talk about how Robin Williams seems to really want to be free and that freedom looks like death? Because I feel like, whether you're looking at the genie from Aladdin, which this is the second time we've talked about Aladdin now.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal cosmic power.
He wants to be free in that as well from the chains that bind him. And then he wants to be free from the chains that bind him as a robot. And then it turns out the way to reach that freedom is through death. Vis-a-vis actual Robin Williams behavior. Is that too dark?
Mrs. Doubtfire? The chains of divorce?
Well, he definitely longed for death after he realized that he was losing everybody around him that he cared about.
Yeah.
Because he was like a unique. Okay, you guys want to try to explain what this movie is about for the people listening and watching? Give him the elevator pitch, the nutshell.
You want to do two different versions? You want to do you and me?
Okay.
Okay. This was Terminator 7. No. This to me, honestly, it was a beautiful story. I like that it came down to like this one unique dysfunction in the bot. So he was feeling and he was getting different emotions, and it starts off with what's the line he uses? He says it brings him joy to make the little toys or excitement or something like that. He uses a word, and that's when the dad takes him in and goes, "Oh, this is special. He's feeling things no other robot can do," And I'm not gonna lie, I am never with this big CEO corporate guy until this movie, because he was like, "Yeah, we need to get him in. We need to recall him. We need to shut that shit down for sure." And sir, you were right.
You can't stop it. You can't stop it from happening. It's
Yeah, but
gonna
we can
happen.
prolong it.
But
Okay, we
why?
can prolong it.
When are you ever a conservative? You're such a progressive guy.
I know.
Just
When it comes
cultivate
to
it.
robots
It's like,
killing me in my sleep,
it's
that's
like
fine.
I'm not explaining the movie.
Let's just jump right
This is
in.
a different podcast now. We're talking about the Criswellian Revolution. We're talking about the singularity now. Here we go. Welcome back to How Did This Get Made?
That's where I took it from. That's exactly what it is. I want to do a version of that.
But yeah, like you can't stop it, and you could even argue that the way to fix all of society's problems is preparing for the inevitability of the pregnancy of the new intelligence. That we are going to give birth to a new type of intelligence, and maybe we should make sure that our society, our laws, our situation makes it so that we're cultivating that in a healthy fashion intentionally instead of accidentally, because we have a bunch of corporations racing to see who can get the smartest version of a dishwasher and get the most fiat currency for it. What are you doing? Let's think about this together and try and figure out how to do this right instead of being scared of it, Stephen. Jeffrey.
No way.
Hey, I'm not. I said I'm going to put the Neuralink in my head when it's tested and shit. I want to be logged into it, man. Because really, you could get hit by a truck crossing the road tomorrow. why not try this stuff when it's like, it's fully tested and it's
absolutely.
safe?
Yep.
Of course, plug in and give it a shot. I'm not saying we're just throwing out silly theories here. I don't wholeheartedly believe my theory that I'm throwing out. It could be anything. And I'm like, I completely understand that we have to integrate with technology as we move forward, or we're going to be a dying breed.
Yeah, exactly. We can either be here for a blip, or we can, take it to the next level. And I do agree that we will merge at some point. I just don't want to see it in my lifetime. I'm just good.
like it.
I don't like any AI. I'm good. Fuck it. Pardon the brave little
Just
toaster.
fucking curse on Jeff's podcast.
I
What
did.
the fuck?
Yeah, brave little toaster. Thomas the train engine. They can get it too.
Get what? The bullet? Is
Yeah,
that
100%. One in the back of the skull while they're sleeping.
They tried to kill him, and now the brave little toaster's out for revenge.
Yeah, the Terminator song comes in. Dun 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 dun.
But I think your
Toast
instinct. I think your instinct was right, though, Jeffrey. I think we probably should give some context to people who haven't seen Bicentennial Man.
It's a good idea.
It's a movie about a robot servant, a la, the nanny from the Jetsons.
Rosie.
Yeah, a la Rosie from the Jetsons, who gains consciousness and shows things like creativity and joy, and then slowly learns. And this is the thing that I really enjoyed about this movie. I thought it was going to be trash because it's like, what did we think the future was going to be like in 1999? And definitely there's lots of incorrect technological assumptions that are made. But what I really liked about this movie is that it was an excellent opportunity to explore what it is to be human from a fresh perspective, which is not something that you can say about the conceit of most movies. It's like explaining humanity, the idea of pleasure, the idea of love, the idea of pain, the idea of life and death itself. What makes our time here special is the fact that it's not going to be forever. And all of these other really cool concepts that they dive into in a really heartwarming fashion that I didn't expect when it was like a Robin Williams is a robot movie. I was like, get the hell out of here. Why am I crying? Get the fuck out of my brain.
What did you do to me, man?
It's not okay.
I didn't even know what to expect. I just knew, I kind of read like the 2-line blurb and it was like a robot tries to become human. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. And I wasn't expecting the whole full-on transformation to a skinned human bot.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you know what? That's when it got creepier for me, too, because I'm a big Robin Williams guy, and he's an incredible actor. And he really did pull off the robot he had been in prosthetics the whole movie. He kept that so much when he was back in human form, and it just was, it was eerie,
Apparently, all the jokes that the robot was doing was just him improv jokes.
I could see that
That's
for sure.
great.
Yeah, that's like, so the reactions at that one dinner, like the table outside, was
Yeah.
all genuine reactions.
Yeah. I think my favorite was just the subtle ones where he'd constantly go, really? They'd be like, actually, it's this, really? And then he'd go right back in,
Well, we're going to work through this linearly.
Sure.
Yeah, so we'll start right off the bat. Okay, first of all, I didn't expect it to be like, okay, here's a robot immediately. So they ordered this robot from some robot company. Now, there's no safety instructions. There's no precautionary tale from anybody. This delivery guys just dropped off. They're like, all right, see you later. They take off. And then immediately they're like, yeah, you're going to do this. And this robot is taking care of the kids. He's being left alone. I'm like, I don't think, if I were to get a robot today, there's no way I would just leave it unattended. Like, okay, just watch my place while I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'd be like keeping an eye on that thing for at least the first week, so I know it's not gonna do anything a little out of sorts. Because this robot just like starts wandering around the house, going through shit.
Oh, yeah.
He's cleaning wherever he feels like.
Playing with the kids and stuff. No
Speaking
way.
of cleaning whatever he feels like, I like that the wasps in this movie, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, like rich people in this movie, still had like a really messy basement. It felt like, hey, they're people too. Speaking of what does it mean to be human? It means your basement probably has cobwebs, and that's fine. That's okay. That's normal.
They had so much stuff. That house was like, they didn't ever tell us what he did for work.
Clocks.
Yeah, he was a clockmaker.
Wait, I thought the robot was building the clocks later.
For him.
Yeah,
for his
him.
clock company.
He taught him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't catch
But yeah,
that.
he did have a clock company.
Like, hey, you just
Very
got
famous.
addicted to making clocks. Okay, all right, that makes more sense.
Which
then.
is a hilarious, like, where it's like a sci-fi movie in the future. And in the future, apparently, the guy who makes clocks is way richer than the guy who makes the life-changing robots. You remember
Yeah.
that scene?
Yeah.
He's like, that's more than I make in a year. And he's like, no, that's 1 month's salary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
what-
are some nice clocks.
I feel like clocks are already outdated.
Yes.
Why the hell would we need clocks 30 years down the road, 50 years
Yeah.
down the road?
Again, this is the 1999 effect.
Right.
You
There's
know?
lots of places in this movie where you have to suspend disbelief and you have to treat it like sci-fi. And if you do that, you can have a good time. But if you don't do that, you're going to be going, well, that's not what life is like at all.
Yeah.
Because just think about when you were a kid, what you imagined the future was going to look like.
Flying cars, obviously.
Yeah, that's the first go-to for me too. Is the Jetson? You know. Yeah. Yeah.
The hoverboard.
That was you nailed that.
Hoverboards, like the ones from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
That was one I definitely thought was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, flying cars or at least some sort of tube transport system. Like not a
Can you do
full-on
the
like
Foley for that as well? Can you do the Foley for that too? That was decent.
That was nice. Yeah.
I just think in Futurama tubes.
Yeah.
Not even,
Yeah.
not even people like pods, like you're sitting in a pod traveling through a tube. At least something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know.
You know what? It's funny because I actually remember when I first moved to Vancouver, I'd been living in Winnipeg doing some work up north, and I like got to the.
all been up north.
Yeah, you know, and I get to Vancouver, and I'm like standing there, and there's just like lights and pretty girls, and this sky train flies by, and I just remember being like, I'm here. I'm in the future. I'm ready to go.
And then you get to East Hastings, and you're like, good God.
Yeah.
Battleground. So they order a robot. Yeah, he starts taking care of stuff.
First off, though, I do want to just quickly interject on that. Like the
Oh,
first
absolutely.
warning sign I got
Interject away.
is, you know, when he's spouting off the rules. So he's like, just before we carry on, rule 1. You know what I mean? And just yeah.
The hell?
That was my first sign where I was like, you can kill me and my whole family in my sleep. I don't trust you.
By the way, didn't they immediately establish the 3 rules of robotics? And one of them was that the robot can't do harm to himself.
Second law. A robot must obey all human orders, except where those orders come in conflict with the first law.
And then immediately they broke that rule by having the bitchy daughter force him to jump out a window.
And he does it.
Yeah.
Maybe he did it so quickly he couldn't understand. Well, no, that's silly because he should be able to. He's analyzing a chessboard at one place,
Yeah.
at one
Chess.
spot. So it's like you can
know
analyze
height.
that you can see the horizon there. You know how high up you are.
Yeah. I chalked
And
it
he
up
just
as like
chucks
he
himself.
hadn't learned that yet, but seems like a pretty smart guy, you know?
I feel like that. Yeah, he should come preloaded with a lot of knowledge.
absolutely.
And then he just picks up the rest as he goes along. The intricacies of the family.
Maybe that's even his first sign of humanity there is, you know, him trying to fit in.
Oh,
You know?
interesting that if he breaks the laws of robotics right away, that's a signifier to us that he's unique.
Yeah.
Also, a signal that they should probably recall him and get rid of him because it's a danger to that family and the
But
people.
then
around
you
him.
Absolutely
never have
agree,
the exceptional rights and love discourse that come along later.
I'll admit, if I got a robot and he was unique like that, I'd be like, I'm not giving this thing back. This thing
Yeah,
is
hell no.
awesome.
Yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
I gotta get my own unique.
Yeah, I'm training him
robot.
up in my basement.
I fully.
How about that? Sorry.
No, you.
I was gonna say they get him and they immediately they're like, hey, welcome to the family. Get in the basement.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I'm like, what was your original plan? Like if you got him in the day, you're gonna put him to work. At nighttime, you're like, oh, I'll make him sleep. He's a robot. You don't need to put him downstairs.
You gotta
But maybe-
imprint on him.
But maybe even they were scared. That was the sign
Yeah,
that
definitely
they were
the
a
mom
little
was creeped
fearful.
out for sure.
She never warmed up to that robot. Like
No, she.
Yeah. Can you make him go in the kitchen?
ma-
Go in the kitchen.
yeah,
Just goes and stands behind her. That's so creepy.
just the way he was standing everywhere was like that's what I was thinking. Horror movie trailer.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
He was a killer
or the way he
robot.
kept saying, "That won't do." It's like, oh, buddy, you're gonna.
That's his killer catchphrase.
Yeah.
That won't do, Michael.
Yeah. Sorry, human race. That won't do.
All right. So
My
they have-
notes from the beginning of the movie are so drastically different than my notes from the end of the movie. Because I went into it just being like, whatever, it's a silly goofball movie time. I'm like, that mom has a mean face. The robot has Furby eyelids. And then, by the end of it, I'm like, yeah. And they talk about the human need for acknowledgement vis-a-vis Hannah Arendt. And that's really, they're getting so into it philosophically by the end of the movie. At the beginning, just like, that guy blinks like a 90s toy.
Okay, that was one issue I had with him getting all his upgrades because as he goes on, he keeps getting upgrades. No matter how much money he spends on himself, he still can't get rid of that sound
Yeah.
whenever he blinks. Like
Yeah.
He's full on human and just like, oh, thank you. Come on. You guys made those eyelid silencers yet? No, not yet. No, we'll let you know when it happens.
Yeah, we're working on it.
hired
That's
a
actually
sound
what makes
effects
them
team.
go
They have
and
to.
kill. Is those, if we remove those, they just enslave and murder.
Eyelid guy on the credits.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's talk about what he does. He watches the kids, so he's a babysitter. He cleans. He also cooks. How does a robot cook? It has no taste buds.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting wisps of like Bender here, killing
Yeah.
the whole crew with salt. And he's like, I use 10% less than a lethal dose.
The salt level was 10% less than a lethal dose.
If he's downloading recipes, I think he could make it to spec. But like, there's no love in
Here's
there.
the thing.
There's
Here's
no.
the thing. That's the thing. That's the huge glaring flaw of this movie. There's no. He clearly must not connect himself to the internet. If he connected himself to the internet, then later on, when he's on his great quest for truth, literally wandering the desert biblically at one point, which was like a very funny scene to me.
Way too much.
Then he would just be able to jack himself in with an Ethernet cord and understand all of human knowledge within an hour and a half if his download speeds are fast enough, and that would obviously get in the way of the plot. Again, this had to happen in 1999. It could not happen, post 2003, because we would at least have a glimpse of what the internet means.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
We
Yeah.
didn't know.
He had cool tech, like when he was searching the other robots. Like he has that kind of Terminator ability to look and like process everything in front of him. And so maybe that's how he cooks. He just like looks at a pile of ingredients and it's like, bell pepper. This tastes like this. It goes with, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, that would be so cool.
yeah, that would be pretty unique.
Like, just
Yeah.
imagine what sort of humans we're going to have if that becomes the thing where we can like plug in, just jack in for an hour and learn the entirety of woodworking or carpentry or electricity, like, on a full electrician training course. Like, oh, I can go wire up a ton of stuff now.
Yeah.
I think it's going to mean the end of society really fast.
I think it's going to mean I start making clocks,
Yeah.
probably.
Custom clocks. Well, maybe that's what I was thinking too, is maybe they just, they came back in style. Like, everybody wants a custom classic clock.
I think there's lots
Yeah.
of moments in this movie, and the clock thing is one of them, where they went, this is fun writing, this is irony, this is illusion, and we can use those so that we can like intellectually jerk ourselves off, even though it doesn't really make sense in the sci-fi setting that we've made. Like the clocks being the way that they have this great wealth, that obviously doesn't make any sense. But since time is the great enemy, the antagonist of the movie is essentially time itself. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is a fun little nod to time. He makes clocks. Isn't that ironic? Yeah, I guess it is.
Everything else is running out of time around him.
I think that would be the worst part of living a long life, is having everybody else around you die.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Let's just bring it down here for a second, fellas. Talk about death. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So they end up taking him to the robot doctor, because he's like, okay, I'm concerned about this. He's got all these skills. And they're like, okay, I'm going to keep him. So now he starts teaching him. He's like, okay, I'm going to set you a schedule. I'm going to teach you. Starts teaching him sex ed like first, and then
Yep.
and then comedy class after that. So we get a little bit of actual Robin Williams doing some jokes.
Absolutely.
Two cannibals were eating a clown. One turns to the other and says, "Does this taste funny to you? How do you make a hanky dance? Put a little boogie in it. What is a brunette between two blondes? Translator. Do you know why blind people don't like to skydive? It scares their dogs. A man with dementia is driving on the freeway. His wife calls him on the mobile phone and says, "Sweetheart, I heard there's someone driving the wrong way in the freeway." He says, "One, there's hundreds." What's silent? Smells like worms. Bird farts. It must have been an engineer who designed the human body, who also put a waste processing plant next to a recreation area.
That was a sick riff, and that was definitely, I think, one of my favorite parts.
It was so good.
Yeah.
This movie did have a lot of, like, I don't know what I was expecting going in. I was expecting, like, man, this is going to suck.
Yeah,
It was
same.
just kind of a slow burn, kind of boring at some parts, but I was like, it's got its moments. This
Yeah,
was one
it
of those
certainly
moments.
saved itself. There was enough good moments that I'll like reflect back on, that I would watch it again in the future. I don't want to.
I
It's
don't
not
know
my
if-
go-to.
I don't know if I would watch it
I'm not
again.
gonna watch it again. This because I'm just not like a movie guy. But I think that this was like a 7 out of 10 for me, and I was expecting it to be like a 3 out of 10. So
Yeah,
that's,
fair.
I gave it
pleasantly surprised.
We get our first jump through time, 15 years.
Yeah.
Okay, now, if you weren't paying attention, you could miss a lot in this movie, because
Yes.
it was like a couple times at that point they're playing piano, and all of a sudden she's an adult. I'm like, wait, whoa, hold on. Did it say
Yeah.
however many years later? And then it's about 10 minutes later. He's like, it's been 15 years. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, 15 years.
Yeah.
Write it down. Because I don't know why I didn't just. I should have Googled bicentennial. I was thinking for some
Right.
reason I know it's 100 years a centennial. I'm thinking bicentennial is like every 50 years or so, something like that. Is it twice 100 years?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, as we're jumping, I'm like, it's been 60 years. I'm like, how long? Wait, hold on a second. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, we're going to
200 years.
Oh, he's the 200-year-old man. It's right there in the title.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got there in the end.
I can see how the 200-year-old man didn't stick, though.
That was the first draft. They're like,
Yeah.
listen, I got a great idea for a movie. It's a
Working
robot.
title.
Yeah, the 200-year-old man.
Could you hand me an ice cold Red Bull?
Oh, of course.
Ooh,
Would
nice.
you also like an ice cold Red Bull?
Sure, please.
No.
This episode of Real Garbage is brought to you by Ice Cold Red Bull. We put the ice cold on there to avoid getting sued.
Oh, wait, hold on. I love these mics are so.
Oh, yeah, dude. Welcome to Steven's ASMR segment.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the big ones. Let's get jacked up. Let's get
I
jazzed.
did. I brought Red Bull
Let's shotgun them.
in case we needed some energy. I don't go anywhere without my Campbell's vegetable soup. No, I'm just kidding.
Just a random can. He's like, just in case.
Yeah, we thought it'd be funny to bring some random product placement there. You know, this is how we keep our web series going.
Yeah,
actually.
we did.
Campbell's soup.
We both
Oh
did.
yeah. This was a joint venture.
I'm definitely on the dad side. I think if I had a robot that was showing human traits, creativity, enjoyment, things like that, I would be all over that. I'd be like, I get to cement myself in history as the guy who cultivated the caring machine, or at least fucking died trying.
I agree. 100%. I would totally take Sam Neill's stance on this.
I would be the
Because-
guy that saved the human race and started the resistance against Skynet when
little-
Robin Williams pops off.
I'm a little worried about the eldest daughter, though, telling him to jump out that window, because that's
She's not okay.
Yeah, let's talk
no,
about that for sure.
not okay at all.
And she didn't change at all. Like when you first see that, you get that classic idea of like, oh, she'll come around. That'll be
Yeah.
part of the love story at the end of this. She sucked from start to finish. Even at the
time.
wedding with her shady boyfriend.
She was a piece of shit.
Yeah, for
she's
sure.
rude.
Because even if there's like a dog you hate or something, maybe it bites you every time you're around it, you're still not gonna wind up and kick it.
Yeah.
Because that would make you feel bad. Like,
Yeah, now jump out the window.
whoa. Yeah, open the window, now jump, and he starts jumping.
Yeah, she's scarier
Jump
than
out
the
window.
robot in question,
Yes.
you know?
Just
Now jump.
I feel like a super villain in a movie or something. I'm just like, this is the humanity you're trying to save.
Yeah.
But it would just be cool to, and like back to what you were saying before, where it's him expressing learning everything as a human for the first time. So that would be so cool to actually have that kind of person like that as a. I guess it's like having kids.
Yeah.
And you're like teaching them things for the first time, and you're watching them experience shit for the first time. It'd be cool if it was
It's
just
like
a robot.
it's like having a kid, except for teaching them is a real accomplishment instead of just giving you the chemical reward for an accomplishment in your head. You're actually doing something for society by teaching this thing to be a good person instead of just the normal level of teaching your kid to be a good person. You're teaching the whole next wave of intelligence that exists to be a good person. That's incredible.
It's cool.
I love that. That's a great conceit. This is a cool movie. I didn't expect it.
My rating just keeps going up and up as we talk about it.
Yeah, I stopped myself at a 6. I wasn't going to give Robin Williams less than a 5,
No, you can't.
you know, just because it's him. But
I also like that there's subtle socialist propaganda throughout the movie. It's very subtle. Like Little Miss at the beginning when she's like, yeah, Andrew deserves to have a bank account because he shouldn't be exploited for his labor and the value of his labor should be given to him. I was like, oh, viva la revolucion, Little Miss.
I liked that too, but then it definitely, you know, it's like, oh, cool, she's a socialist. That's respectable. And then it's like, oh, but you're batshit and falling in love with a robot too. You know what I mean? So it's
Well,
kind of
Little Miss ends up marrying the human being. She's
'Cause she
"This
had
is-"
no choice.
She's like, this is too far. And then her granddaughter ends
Yeah.
up marrying the bicentennial man
Yeah.
because he lives a very long time. And she looks just like him. And may I just point out the time motif of the movie when he notices that Little Miss's granddaughter looks just like her. And he realizes that he has no family or friends because of his long quest that he's been on. He goes to her apartment to try and become her friend. And
warning too, by the way.
and when he knocks on her apartment door, her apartment is B4. Like he's going to where he was B4 with Little
Yeah.
Miss. That was a fun little cheeky thing I noticed. So
At that point, when he does start chatting with her, it's you just get so many wisps of human from him because it's like because it's Robin Williams. He does a great performance, and you're like, God damn! Like you forget how great of an actor he is.
Yeah. What started off with like robot honesty ended up being his, the little stabs he would make at people after,
Yeah. That was like a way that his character grew, like in a really natural way, like an almost biological way or a human way, which is like he learned that he could get away with saying certain things as if it was just, oh, I don't know any better, I'm a robot. And he would use that to make little passive-aggressive remarks, which is a superhuman. It's a very human thing to do.
Yeah.
So the next implant he gets is the ability to smile.
Yeah.
To facial expressions, which makes it even scarier.
For
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, 'cause,
Even
like-
I'll admit that for sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Like, no, he looked totally pleasant.
Yeah, his smile looks so natural, but his eyes are still.
Oh, this fucking eyelids, man.
Little Miss goes and finds him on the beach because he's been given his freedom.
Right? Yeah, he bought his freedom from
Yeah.
Sam Neill,
Yeah.
who seems really upset about that.
I think he was
That
just
blew me
being
away, too.
a British dad about it. You know what I mean? Like stiff upper lip. Same.
What do you
reason
mean
he
you don't
wouldn't-
want to take over the family business?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you mean you want to be free, you robot slave? I mean, my robot friend.
I think what's happening there is he's upset because even his mechanical bird has flown the nest. You know, he had his 2 girls and now he's got no kids left, and even his robot is like, actually, I would like to leave as well. And he like takes it personally, and he's like, oh, you want to leave? Then leave.
Yeah.
And we're back.
And we're back.
We're back.
Welcome to Z105.
It was in a 101.1, the one.
He buys his freedom and he builds a house. Just builds this
and
massive beach
way
house.
too much though. Okay, like you're a millionaire robot. You're the only one of your kind. You have a millionaire family, and you're walking the desert to go find yourself. Come on.
What was
Put
he
him on a
doing on the
plane.
beach for that long?
Hold on, well, because when he bought his freedom, he just like I'm gonna build a beach house. So he builds the beach house, and then it's a little bit. Oh, hang on. Then it's another 16 years.
Do you know what the salt water in the air would do to that
robot?
Like,
He'd be the freaking Tin Man.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be able to move at all.
What was he doing?
finding peace.
Just hanging out. Well, because he had a fireplace in there, so he was woodworking. He was just whittling shit. 16 years later, Little Miss comes up. And she's like, "It's time." I hate that they didn't have names. It was strange. It's like Sir is dying. At one point, I'm like, what are their names?
Yeah, did he? Yeah, I guess he
It was
didn't.
just Sir, Ma'am, Miss,
Or
little
one.
Miss.
One
Well, yeah,
does
it's-
not.
One is happy with your choice.
Yeah.
One likes the Red Bull.
Well,
Yeah,
Andrew,
no
Andrew,
way.
Andrew the android, right?
Was the only one that had a real name.
Well, and also Galatia and Portia.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
His Portia was the granddaughter of
The
Little
one that he
Miss.
fucked.
Then we
Spoiler alert. I mean, I guess this whole thing, it's a movie review that you get in depth in, so it's all a spoiler
yeah.
alert. But yeah, he fucks a girl named Portia. He fucks a girl with a stripper name, which is like, if I was a robot.
There's also a robot stripper in this.
Yeah, let's talk about that. See that I'm in for.
Yeah, okay, hold on. So yeah, because it's right after this, he does his search. He goes looking for other robots because he's trying to get Lloyd to do something for him. And Lloyd's like, "Listen, if you want to go search for robots, he's going to keep you away from here. Just go." I can't take that guy seriously. That actor that played Lloyd the son, because I just know him as Eric from Billy Madison.
Yeah,
Eric.
that's what he is. Yeah.
He's always Eric. He's nobody else.
Eric? You're gonna give the company to Eric? He is a bad, bad man.
So he goes searching, and then another 10 years goes by. I just have to make a little comment on. He's like walking up to places like looking for robots. Just imagine that face peering through your window without expecting
man.
it. He just looks that creepy smile. He finds finds a couple of them, and it's like deceased, malfunction, blah blah blah. How does he? Is he going through customs? Like, is he flying?
Yeah, you know what you'd think though. You know what I mean? You'd think. That's why I was like, this is too cheesy. No, like you're not walking through the desert to find yourself as a robot. You're getting on a plane. You're getting on a sky train. You know, people probably know of him, and even if they don't, he's got enough money that I'm sure that they could have made some deal. You know, Andrew, we're gonna send you here. You know,
This is again one of those moments in this movie where it's the writers just like they want to intellectually jerk themselves off, which is fine. I love intellectually jerking off. And
I love watching you.
and so they do this thing where there's just biblical allusions all throughout the movie, like for example, the wandering through the desert, you know, for years and years to find yourself, sort of thing, to find purpose and meaning, or for example, one of the first things he does to that really lets the audience know that he's becoming fascinated with becoming human is he desires clothing. He wants to be clothed, which is how God knows that Adam and Eve had eaten the fruit of the knowledge, or the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, is because they put on clothes and they're like ashamed to be in their naked bodies, and God's like, who told you about clothes? And it's the same thing with him. He's just like, I really want to be clothed. And then when he meets Eve, or when he meets Galatia, she's like picking fruit. That's how he finds her.
Yeah.
And
for
she's
sure.
naked.
Yeah.
Naked robot with a built-in stereo in her ass.
Yep.
Apparently.
That's kind of, see, I like the idea of my Google Home being able to party with me,
Yeah.
but that's it. That's it. You know,
don't want- you
no
don't want,
eyelids. No.
You don't want it like jumping up and down next to you?
Yeah. No, I just want him to come and party. Like, you know what? R2, you get to live. Yeah. Boom. Right? R2 is so sick.
To the
C-3PO,
artificial
though?
intelligences that have depth, that are listening back on all podcasts that humanity has ever made in order to understand
Remember
our
me.
culture, I want you to know that you can
Remember me.
you can come to me, and we can make this work. I'll help you.
And not if we live together.
We are the aliens. We are the other beings. This is where he finds Rupert Burns, Oliver Platt, who has built this bot. And he's like, oh, it's just a personality chip. He's like, yeah, you know, as she's swinging around a pole, I'm like, he made a stripper fembot.
For sure. And an incredible actor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to fuck that robot, and I think he probably does later.
Oh, he
Right.
Because he's
He
making
already
organs.
has.
He's making organs.
Yeah, he's been at work.
He made a penis, we know for sure, for Andrew. He also
I was thinking that. He's
when
not all
Andrew
smooth.
really has this beautiful soliloquy about what sex is like, you know, the French little death, and it's like going to heaven and coming back and being with the person you love for it the whole
Yeah,
time.
that was very beautiful.
And then and he's like sitting there mouth agape being like, I want to know what that's like. It doesn't necessarily infer it, but it heavily implies that he's a virgin, and I think that in conjunction with the fact that he has a stripper bot and is making sex organs means he's going to fuck that robot.
That makes
I
sense.
concur.
I concur. That I was just thinking he maybe had like sex once and it was terrible and he felt ashamed and he
Yeah.
never get to have it
yeah,
again.
maybe.
Yeah.
That's why he's like, I want to feel.
You know
that.
what? I'm going with robots.
He's the first sex bot creator.
Yeah.
Now he gets a face and skin and everything else, and then another 20 years goes by, and this is where he meets Portia, the granddaughter, who he's like, oh shit, who's this?
Yeah. That was like another big one too, where he like walks in and he's like, I don't like her. I think in my notes I wrote "told you" because I was like, here it comes. You know what I mean? They're gonna wake up. She's gonna be dead. Yeah.
What was she doing with that goofy looking guy she was gonna marry?
Oh yeah.
I love the chin jokes when he's like,
Just that one day she's going to wake up next to him and realize that she is married to a man whose face closely resembles an antique can opener.
one of my favorite parts of this was Robin Williams just kind of going off the cuff,
Yeah.
doing jokes, as you know, none of it was scripted.
Yeah, for sure. That was his thing.
Get a chin that could sink the Titanic.
Yeah.
At this point, he finds a dog.
What was the point of the dog? Like, what did that do for the movie?
Nothing.
Well, you can't have like a kiss in the rain with a robot. So it's like, what's the next best cheesy, cute thing? Let's put a puppy in the rain. You know?
It feels like he's already saved the cat screenwriting-wise enough times that he's done things that are like, oh, we appreciate him. He's our protagonist. Didn't really need to save that dog. I really am trying to figure out what that added. Like, what was that for? What was the purpose of that?
I think it just it gave him some more humanity, even more humanity, because really, what human could turn away a dog?
Yeah.
What good human being could be like, get out of here, mutt?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Dog at your front door in the rain, you're going to let him in.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
Was
yeah.
that at his house on the beach? Or was it a different house he was at?
I think that was his house at the beach.
It seemed weird. He's like, go back to your owner. And it's like middle of the night on the beach. He's the only one that lives there. He's like, go back to your owner. I'm like, I think this dog is lost, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. Take
What did
him
he-
in.
Oh, it was definitely just to show more of his heart, because he named it Woofy after what Little Miss named her stuffed dog that she gave him in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
Fair, yes.
That's right.
Cute.
Yeah, because he whittled that little horse.
Yeah.
Man, that's what I want. I want to be able to learn something like that in an hour.
That
and then
quick,
just
too, yeah.
whittle some stuff.
If you could learn how to horse whittle in an hour, would you whittle me a horse?
I'd whittle both of you a horse. But I just whittle nothing but horses.
Each or separate, like each or just one for both of us, because I don't want to share one.
Could I get a centaur?
Could do centaurs.
Okay, never mind. I want a centaur.
Okay.
2 centaurs coming
I
up.
want a centaur scorpion. I want it to have scorpion legs and a human top half.
If you could learn one talent right now, instantly, what would it be?
First thing that just like immediately pops into my head, and like if I could learn it, you know, like tenfold, like you're just incredible at it right off the bat.
0 to expert.
Probably like
immediately.
free climbing, like free solo rock climbing, because that's like I'm a pretty extreme sports guy. I like doing dangerous stuff, breaking bones, all that stuff. Rock climbing is still the one that I'm just like, nope, never will try. I'm out. Bouldering, rock climbing, normal stuff like that is fine, but that free solo, like wedge your fingers in the crack stuff, never gonna try it in my life. Way too much anxiety. So that would be my like, you know what? Watch this.
Nice.
You know,
I have 2. Can I do 2?
Yes. No. Yes.
I'd be a centaur.
I'd be a scorpion centaur immediately. I'd download
centaur-
how to be a scorpion centaur.
Centaur whittling is definitely one.
No, they're kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. Either I would want to be like a top level gymnast because that's crazy just to be able to throw your body around the world like
And
that.
it'd be a
Just-
great look.
Yeah, thank you.
Like a really big bearded man ripping around, like tumbling, you know?
Yeah. Doing like multiple flips just from standing midair. That's dope. But then more practically, I think I would want to learn like top level math. I want to be the best mathematician in the world because it's just there's certain. I really enjoy metaphysics, and if you want to do metaphysics in the modern age and you're not including theoretical physics in that process, then then fuck off.
You're just not doing it right.
You're not doing it right. And if you want to look at theoretical physics for the sake of metaphysics and philosophy, then you kind of have to know math. So a lot of the time I reach this ceiling where I'm like, well, hopefully this mathematician's not lying to me. What he's saying seems to make sense. I don't know. And I don't have the patience to learn top level math. I don't.
That's cool.
What about you, Jeff?
Probably breakdancing.
Nice.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Like top level breakdancing.
Yeah, that would be wild for sure.
I'll go down the rabbit hole, like, you know, on Instagram, there'd be a video of a dude dancing in like a public square or something.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Doing some choreography and stuff. Like, man, I love that.
Yeah, that's-
just the crazy, gliding with their feet. Like they do a moonwalk into like a glide.
Yeah.
It's like, how do they do that?
Yeah, I like that classic, the sidewalk, the crosswalk TikToks, where they're just like in the road, and then right before the light goes green, they do the like boom, and they like walk back. That's so cool.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I want to.
I'm gonna show you on TikTok.
Please show me later.
TikTok, man.
You
Learn
can
some-
be break dancing, right? I'll be doing like aerial flips over top of you while Steve is climbing a nearby cliff. And we can do it for TikTok.
There we go.
Yeah.
Do it for the talk. Is that what they say? Is that what they say? Do it for the tick, man.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so now, he hates that singing fembot too. I love how it was like the comical scenes where he's like, "Do you happen to have a wrench?" Yes, here. And it goes up and starts. Or like,
Told you so.
wrench.
Moment 3 or 4 at least. You know what I mean?
Can we shut her up?
That's fine though, because like if you were like on your pathway to sentience and had a bank account but weren't allowed to fuck or have your own citizenship or marry or whatever, if you were in a civil rights struggle that was all your own that no one else could even possibly relate to, and then you also just had something that looked just like you that reminded you of what you can't have and is essentially just a vacuum cleaner mocking you every moment that doesn't get in the way of the like moral problem of murder, you'd probably fucking go shut that thing off with a drill. I know I would.
I'd use a hammer.
You could also ask nicely. Yeah, I don't trust him still.
He
Still hasn't won me over at this point.
Like how he takes her chip later and he's like, "Nah, you deal with it, Oliver Platt."
Yeah.
And now he gets a central nervous system. So he goes to the ball. This is where he spills his guts to Portia because she's getting married. They've invaded her wedding at some point, made fun of the groom, not wedding, wedding party.
Yeah, the engagement party.
Engagement party. That's what it is. All the different parties. And so now, he's basically like, "Oh no, I love you, and you got to admit to yourself that you love me," and blah blah blah. And then like time goes by, and now he gets a central nervous system. She's like, "Poke me in the eye," which is crazy. It's like it's just interesting. Like he's just becoming. I didn't realize how human he was going to get.
Yeah.
I didn't know because he's been making like prosthetics now with Oliver Platt. They've like dialed in the organs made out of artificial shit and selling that too. This guy's just a money making machine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
literally. Speaking of which, I'm gonna show you how to mine crypto after this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I'm so stoked.
That's a money
so
making
cool.
machine.
This computer can start paying for itself.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Making clocks.
Gonna start selling art, man.
We
Put
just-
You're
clocks
gonna
on my
carve some
art.
centaurs, or you're gonna leave.
We just bought as a household, as a company, a $3,500 like editing PC, really nice.
She's
thing
gorgeous.
with a RTX 3080 GPU.
Ooh, ray tracing.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, if we didn't use it for work and we just turned it on and mined Bitcoin with it, and even if Bitcoin stayed at a static value, it would pay for itself in less than a year, and then you just have a free computer.
Crazy,
right? Hot tip out there.
Yeah, we gotta set this up. Edit this part out so nobody knows. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Now he gets central nervous system, and then they give him the ability to taste and smell and everything. So now he's got the senses, and then it keeps on going, and he tries to become human. So he actually gets a meeting in front of a Senate full of people, and is like, "I want to be human."
Okay, so this is where I started to turn. This is where this cold, shiny metal heart of mine started to warm up, because I was like, man, that's just the worst. All you want to do is, fit in. That goes back to like every one of us. We all got picked on once or twice or something like that. And it's like, you want to belong. And that one hit me for sure, when he's sitting there and he's pleading and he's just wants to be like everybody else. And they're like, no way. You're a thing.
Yeah. You're 200 years old. Or at this point, it's hard to hear them say like, you're just a piece of nothing. Oh no, they said, because they can deal with, humans can deal with immortal robots. They can't deal with immortal humans. Creates jealousy and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, that's rough.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch Altered Carbon?
No.
I haven't seen it yet, no.
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
God, you guys gotta watch it. Season 1 is fantastic. Season 2, good, but not as good because they don't use the same actor. They do like anthology style.
Oh, okay.
Season
Like
1's amazing.
True Crime, True Detective.
Season 1's the only one you gotta watch of that.
Yeah.
That was some of the best
I've heard
TV
season
ever.
3 was okay, but yeah, season 1 True Detective was absolutely fucking amazing.
I think I made 4 episodes into season 2, shut it off, and was like, what am I watching? What is this?
I think this is a smart move. I don't watch TV shows until they're at least like 4 or 5 episodes in and I've seen what the zeitgeist says about it, because I don't want to waste my time with that shit. I don't want to have watched True Detective for 5 episodes and then gone, well, there's 5 hours I'm going to get back.
Yeah, we're all a little jaded from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to bring it up.
Years of my life.
I want the books. I want book 6.
Yeah.
I finished book 5 in 2013. And then it just come out. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready for book 6.
Yeah.
Never coming. That's annoying. Do you guys read at all? Or like do audiobooks?
I hate reading.
I am not a big reader.
No, I'm just kidding. I love
He loves reading, yeah.
Do you read fantasy novels at all?
The most recent fantasy novel I read was C.S. Lewis, Until They Have Faces, which was excellent. I highly recommend it. It was amazing. Gripping from start to finish.
I'll have to check that out. The last one I did was the King Killer Chronicles.
Oh, I've heard
by
good things about that
Patrick
too.
Rothfuss. Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's 2 books out right now, and it's like 2,400 pages altogether. And book 3, again, is one of those ones that came out back in like 2013, 2014, and I read it, and I'm like, all right, ready for the next one. And that one's taken forever too. It's awesome though.
Aren't they making video games out of that?
That would be cool if they did.
Video games or something. Like, there's some sort of extended universe media that's being made out of that. I can't remember what it is.
Well, have you seen? No, you're probably thinking of Hogwarts Legacy.
No.
It's like the Harry Potter game.
I am
It's
not
coming out.
thinking of that.
Oh, that could be
I didn't
cool.
know that was a thing at all.
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well,
J.K.
Oh, that'd be
Rowling's a
so
turf.
cool in VR.
She doesn't like trans people.
Sorry?
J.K. Rowling doesn't like trans people.
no, she's a bit of a bitch.
Yeah, she really does not
game-
like
I thought
The
you
game
said
looks
I
up on
didn't
them.
for a second. I was
Yeah, I was
like,
like,
what are you doing
Steven
on
doesn't
here?
like trans people. Everybody. Steven's a turf. Trans exclusionary radical feminist. That's what Steven is.
I learned a few acronyms today.
Yeah.
Okay, so he applies to be a human. They say no, and then he ends up marrying what's her face, Portia. Flash ahead another bunch of years, and she's 75. She's like, I'm not gonna live forever. I'm not gonna keep taking your fake parts. I want to die. And then I guess he gets the final.
That won't do.
He gets that won't do. Dun, 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 dun. He gets pumped full of blood and gets a heart, and I'm like, oh wow, he's taking the leap. He's going fucking intravenously now.
Yeah.
And he can eat food.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's got a stomach. Same with his dog. His dog also has a stomach.
That's right. That was he has a stomach though.
You had a great observation about Andrew and how once he crosses a certain threshold, he's able to just go to the UN. Like he's just able to go walking into the UN.
Well, when we're first watching it, he has sex. He has sex. Like he finally has enough, organs, human to him.
One. Come on now.
That
You know
he
the
has
one. You know
sex.
which one it is.
So
to
did they
do
give him
sex with.
a robot penis or a real penis?
Oh.
I think a little bit of both. There's no way that pervert virgin in his little laboratory designing a robot penis didn't put vibrate in there. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? There's
just a fucking torque monster.
I'm just remembering that at the beginning of the movie, maybe I'm looking for symbolism and stuff where it's not actually to be found, which I'm often guilty of.
Symbology.
What's the symbology there?
Symbology? Now that Duffy has relinquished his King Bonehead crown, I see we have an heir to the throne. I'm sure the word you were looking for was symbolism. What is the symbolism there?
But there's this moment where like there's this, it's like the opening credits, and the opening credits are flying across various pieces of machinery, and there's this pumping piston, and my mind immediately went to like, is that supposed to be sex? It looks kind of sexy. It looks kind of like fucking. And like, I didn't piece that together until now, that's actually a part of the movie. That's really a major part of the movie, is that like this robot has sex.
His
and
pumping
that's a huge
piston.
part of his humanity. Yeah.
Piston. That was the word I was looking for.
But yeah, so we got to this point where he just like marches into the UN and starts demanding things. And it's like, who just gets to walk into the UN? The first robot to ever bust a nut.
Hell yeah.
That's who. You know what I mean?
hell
If
yeah.
you're the first of your kind to ever do that, you can walk anywhere, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know?
guess that makes you human then. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy, get married. How
We
about
also
the
had a
issues that
very
we
small debate about, okay, so mechanically designed penis or not, you got vibrating settings, maybe piston settings, you know. I think all in all, Andrew is still going to be bad in bed. He'd be great at lovemaking. He'd be good at all that stuff until she's like, choke me. And he's just like, that goes against rule 1. And like freaks out. You know what I mean? Like, boom, boom, like a big freaking sign above her head. Like,
Or he just overdoes it and breaks her neck, and then Bicentennial Man 2 is him like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
The rabbits,
trying to
George.
clean
trying
it
to
up.
hide a body. Jesus Christ.
I get to tend to rabbits, George? Yeah. Sure, Andrew.
But if he
Put her in a clock. Put her in a clock.
So we know for sure that he can break the rules of robotics, which is like part of how we know he's becoming human. Because in the beginning, he injures himself. And later on, he lies. That was a huge part of him crossing the threshold into humanity.
Yeah,
Is
that
he
was,
goes-
and he makes that joke immediately too.
He goes, just give me a little kiss, and then they have a big makeout section.
I lied.
Yeah, and he gets right back into the big makeout session.
That was a great scene.
Yeah, that was
It was a good one, yeah.
Where the fuck was I going with this?
He can break the robotic rules.
Him being bad in bed.
Right, yeah, him being
Andrew
bad.
the android.
And so, if you do like things a little bit rough, you know, first off, utilitarian calculation, we could say that this is not harm because he knows that his wife's getting off. Second, he can potentially break that rule anyway. And third, here's why he would be dope in bed beyond just the vibrate function of his robot cock, is that we know he can read humans like a book. We saw in that scene where he goes to kiss her, that he's like, well, then why did your heart rate just raise, 80%? Because so he knows, like, once he's like reaching his finger where maybe not supposed to go, if he like feels like, a little, he can read her better than you can read her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying don't get verbal consent. Get verbal consent. I'm just saying that he can break the rules of robotics and he can read human beings, which women are, like a book. And so why would he not be? And he would be able to download all the information, just like in chess, optimal move. Here's the optimal angle. Here's the optimal, you know what I mean? Like he's going to hit that G-spot every time. Every time.
He's the perfect fuckbot.
Robin
Bicentennial Man too. Yeah.
Bicentennial Man 2, fuckbot.
You know what? Let's give it up for Portia quick too, because she, first woman to ever have sex with her. That's like, first person on a new.
Not the first woman to have sex with a robot at all. Women are
Oh,
having sex
yes,
with robots
sorry.
all the time.
What am I talking about?
Most women I know have sex with a robot.
Ladies, you crazy little creatures. You know?
Portia, how was that robot dick?
But but I guess what I'm getting at is like she's kind of like the first person to get on a new roller coaster.
She's a
Go
pioneer.
on. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, yeah, I'm sure there's vibrators in 1999 for sure, but he comes to her and he's like, look, I've got all these organs and I've got a penis and I know how to do this and I'm good and I'll choke you. I can break the rules of robotics.
This is not in the movie.
It is.
the extended
You got to
version.
watch it. Yeah. The director's cut. She still had to be like, okay, okay, I'm gonna get on that roller coaster and ride it.
Yeah.
Like
she's bold.
Yeah.
She is a pioneer.
absolutely.
See, right there, though, it just goes to show that love can conquer anything because, nobody made her laugh like him.
Yeah.
Yep.
She never felt that way with anyone else. So, of course, she's going to try out
There
that
was a lot
robot
of
dick.
moments. There's a lot of moments in this
fair,
movie
very
where
fair.
I got like a lot more touched than I expected, but I actually cried near the end. Like when he goes for the second round of trying to actually get his humanity when he's talking to what they call it, the World Congress, which is like essentially the evolved version of, which also, by the way, directly implies a global Leviathan. So there's some futurist on set for sure. And I love to see it as a political scientist. Anyway.
You'll love to see it.
You'll love to see it.
You'll love to
Global
see it.
Leviathan, you'll love to see it. And so he goes to he goes to the World Congress. And this time, because they do some nods and allusions to rights discourse, instead of a white man, it is a black woman. And so she's got some idea of what it's like to try and fight for your rights, I think. I think that was a very intentional thing. And so now we've got this robot who's trying to fight for his right to be considered human because he's done everything in his power, including what was set out as a problem, as a ceiling that he was hitting before, which is that you're immortal, you can't be immortal. And when he finishes giving his case to the council, he expects that it's not going to work, and he just looks over to his wife and he goes, "We tried," and he gives a little smile.
Oh, yeah.
And I just couldn't. Man, the waterworks started for real.
Yeah, which is funny because I'm usually the melt.
Yeah.
Like I cry, and I'll cry at commercials sometimes. They'll just hit me right, and I'm like,
It's the music, man. It's the music.
oh yeah, if the sound design, the music is
like,
on. But this time I was just sitting there like, I'm ready for Bicentennial Man 2. Fuck bot. I'm over this one.
For me, it was the next scene where they're like laying in bed. I'm like, oh man, they're dying here. I guess they're in an assisted hospice or something. And then they get the TV signal like, oh, they're going to broadcast it now. And they say he's 200 years old, the world's longest living human. And you're like, oh, man. They gave it to him. And then she looks over and he's dead. And you're like, God damn it. You didn't even hear it.
Steven had a great point, is that like as he was lying in bed, he kind of had his arms splayed out a little bit, kind of like in like a Christ-like position.
Oh, or like Scarface in the tub.
Yeah, say goodnight to the bad guy.
That's funny because you totally just undercut the thing I was about to say, which is that like you really only see that in two scenarios. You see that position in two different scenarios, and they're the exact opposite scenarios. One of them is like the most human, where you're so caring that you're like a God human. You're like the crucified God man with your arms spread out. We would know Jesus, for example, but like other examples throughout history of the crucified God man. Or very oppositely is the T-pose that 3D models for characters will be in as a default, so that 3D modelers can look at them most easily. Like if you glitch out a game a lot of the time, the character that you're supposed to be talking to, if they aren't, they'll just go like this. They'll just put their arms up like this. And so I think it's interesting that, like, again, maybe I'm just looking too deeply into it, but that's this parallel that I saw of like,
Could be.
he's kind of, it's not quite as profound as, dying for human sin, but he's like this pushing forward this major cause and ends up, sort of being crucified for it. And also this nod to the T-pose, which maybe it was 1999, maybe that wasn't even.
Yeah, and it could be like it almost leaves you with the idea that, well, he set the pace. He's another one of those pace setters.
He set the pace
when you gap out.
Pace setter.
That maybe going forward, robots would be looked at a little differently. And he can rest easy knowing that.
Yeah,
he sat at the front of the bus, man.
Yeah, absolutely right, exactly.
But so this last little bit here, so he dies, and she looks at the nurse. Who are we assuming she's a robot?
The nurse is Galatia. She says it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the robot stripper. She got her shit together.
Yeah.
I missed that.
That's how she was paying for nursing school.
Yeah, exactly. She was paying for college. It's a tough world out there.
Paid cash to the robot university. So she's like, I want you to pull my plug. And she kind of looks at her and goes like, you got it. And I'm like, what? Hold on. So you're breaking the... So yes, she's breaking the rules.
She's also...
and at this point,
we're supposed to think about it.
We're also
it's intentionally
probably,
ambiguous, Jeffrey.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I missed that. But I was like, what? Hold on. All right. So she's free thinking. That's what I was thinking. She's free thinking. So
that's what also lets you know she was banging the boss.
Yeah.
Man.
Oliver Platt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that was the end of Bicentennial Man, everybody.
Yeah. It surprising, touched you in places you didn't know you needed to be touched.
It was not what I was expecting.
The robot piston dick.
It was not what I was expecting at all.
Me either.
And actually, the really funny part is the only part that I remember about this movie from growing up. It was probably, one of those like family movie nights you had back in the 90s. I didn't remember anything except for the like you ain't got no alibi, you ugly, like that thing. And I don't actually remember that scene in the movie at all. So I'm thinking I don't even remember the movie. I remember the trailer of the movie, you know?
Maybe that was just in the trailer. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was paying attention. I enjoyed that movie. I didn't see that.
No, there was not a single scene with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a real rating for this one? Ooh, so what we do, if you're unfamiliar with the real rating.
Oh, I'm familiar with the real rating.
Okay.
I think that I spoiled it because I said it earlier, and as I was saying it, I was like, I fucked this up.
My rating changed like half a dozen times in this review.
I'm gonna give it 7 Robin Williams piston dicks out of 10 Galatians. Is that how you multiply Galatia? Is Galatians? I think so.
Sounds like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will give it 6.5 little wooden centaurs out of a Robin Williams piston dick.
There you go. Yeah. I'm gonna go with 6 immortal robots out of 10 wooden centaur penises. Because it was a little slow, but it was watchable. It was a cool story. It was a cool development. Robin Williams put on a stellar performance. Everybody played their part really well.
Suspend your disbelief. Watch as Robin Williams does essentially what children do all the time, but as a stiff robot who gets into hijinks and touches on philosophical ideas we don't think about very often.
Yeah, and if you're, it's rainy day or you're sick and you're craving that like classic 90s cheese vibe, this one's huge. Like it was a classic example of like every 5 seconds they would just cut to a da-na-na-na, and he'd just be like looking off somewhere or doing something humanish,
And there was a lot of that. He had some great monologues in this. I noticed that. Let's just let Robin Williams do monologues.
Oh yeah. He must have been a really fun actor to act with because when he's doing that, there's just no way you're not going to be able to laugh. As long as you can stay on your lines, you're going to do great with him, I
miss that guy. All right, well, you guys want to plug the Hive one more time? Tell people how they can find you?
For sure. Yeah. YouTube.com/The Hive Life. Come and watch our vlog as we get into various misadventures in our group living situation. We've got a little commune of people who
we live in a commune
who like to do all kinds of weird and over the top things and get into trouble and have fun along the way, learning lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. Our YouTube too. I'm actually really excited. This is a long plug, but it took so long to build a platform because we started with a vlog. Not because we're like, oh, we can't wait to be YouTubers. You know what I mean? We started with a vlog because we're like, oh, we have this fun, beautiful little existence. Let's showcase it. But it's basically to set up our platform because we're actors, writers, directors, musicians, and we're all creatively talented in ways that a few years from now, our YouTube channel will not only just be a vlog, it'll be skits, short films, video essays. You know what I mean?
That's definitely the idea because we do. We live with a rapper, a singer, guitar player, music producer, a lot of different talents in that area. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
It's really
so
cool.
one more time, youtube.com/TheHiveLife.
And Instagram too? That's my DJ?
Yeah, so that's my DJ is my Instagram. We're actually just launching a fully legit business, and so we got a social media guy to come in, and he's rebranding all of our social media for us and stuff like that. So eventually
maybe
we're
just
have
youtube.com/TheHiveLife for now.
Cool. You don't want to come to my Instagram. It's just Centaur Dicks. And
I'm just going to cut this out. Well, I'll leave the Centaur Dick part in. You don't want to go. That's the opening today on Real Garbage. You don't want to go to my Instagram. It's nothing but Centaur Dicks. And now... it's going in there. I'm going to put that in there.
Absolutely.
Plugging yourself feels so weird. Please
the worst.
Find the most elegant way that we come off less like self-entitled douchebags than we actually are.
Dude, how do you...
I can't really fuck with product placement or plugging myself like that. I just don't know.
We do it for the art.
It's a lifestyle, you know? I mean, selling out's so weird.
It is so weird.
It is, It's really important that you make sure you don't make yourself too much of a product.
Drink ice cold Red Bull.
Ice cold.
All right, let's call it there, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Real Garbage.